Tough loss for us. I thought Maryland played really well tonight. Thought Trimble was fantastic. It's as good as I've seen him play, and he's played a lot of good games, so that's saying something. But we just could never really get anything going. I thought we had open shots early that we missed. Maybe I'm not sure what it was, but I just thought we were a step slow to everything tonight. I thought they were a little bit quicker. Their movement, the way they were cutting, their defense. I just thought they outplayed us tonight. It was they're really good, and they beat us, and they deserve to win. And we just have to regroup now and get ready for Saturday.
Chris, this game, the game you guys played against Purdue, I mean, how much of it has been Scotty not being there, or you guys just maybe not playing like you've played in some other games?
Well, I mean, it's no excuses, but I mean, he averages 16 points a game. So it's when you're playing really potent offensive teams, we've had to win with our defense without him. We're not capable right now of throwing up 75, 80 points. We just don't have enough firepower. So, we have to win games 65-60, and Maryland is very potent offensively, and they score the ball, and we just couldn't match that. I thought for stretches our defense was very good. There were times we had breakdowns and where they executed well, but I thought, especially in the first half, we could have been down big. I thought we were staying in the game, even though we were in a big scoring drought, and we just couldn't put it in the hole. The one possession, we had 3 wide open threes. We missed free throws tonight. Sanjay, I think, had a breakaway layup, a 2-on-1 fast break. We missed a layup. It was just one of those nights. We just couldn't put it in the basket. And against a really good team, you're just not going to be able to get away with that. And I thought they played well too. It's not just us not playing well. They made us not play well in a lot of instances. So they deserve to win the game tonight.
Coach, when Trimble gets rolling like that, is there anything you guys could have done to stop him, or is it just one of those you just kind of throw your hands up and?
Yeah, I mean, I thought, he hasn't been shooting the ball as well from three. That was I think he was 3 for 22 from three coming into the game tonight. I thought what we didn't do a great job of is he's very shifty, and you got to do a good job of trying to stay between him and the basket. I thought he was able to split the ball screens a few times. He was able to get angles to the basket, and he got layups, which is tough. I mean, as a player, when you get layups, then the basket looks really big, when it comes to your jump shot. So I'm sure there's things we could have done a little bit better. When I watch it, I'm sure there were some breakdowns at times, but sometimes too, a really good player is going to have a night like that, and it's going to make it tough. And what the addition of Cowan has done is it has allowed him to be a scorer. He doesn't have to worry about being a point guard. He can be what he is, which is an explosive scorer, and they move him off the ball and they get him in different situations. It used to be where he had the ball a lot. Now they're moving him around. He's coming off screens. He's getting in the lane, and it's tough. It's tough to guard, especially when he's got it rolling like that.
You guys were able to cut it to single digits after going down 21.
Yeah.
How much of that was Isaiah, and how much of that was just the entire team? And then two, with that crowd behind you, I mean, that was probably some of the loudest you've heard Welsh-Ryan in a while.
Yeah. No, the crowd was awesome, and I appreciate everybody for coming. And, we got another home game Saturday, so I hope everybody will show up then too. It's disappointing when you don't, when the crowd's and they want to get behind you, and you just never can kind of get over the hump. And they wanted to. I could feel that the crowd wanted to really get into the game, and, we weren't able to come through. But our guys are going to keep fighting. Even when we got down big, we're going to fight. We're going to compete. I mean, we may not play well all the time. We may get beat sometimes, but it's never going to be because of lack of fight, lack of competitiveness, lack of spirit, all those things. So I knew we were going to keep playing. We're not going to lay down in those instances, and we finally saw the ball go in a little bit. I thought Isaiah gave us a nice lift tonight. It's BMAC and Vic have been logging a lot of minutes, and there's been a lot on their plate these last couple weeks, and it's important for some of those other guys to take some of that emotional toll off of them with not only their production, but just their spirit out on the court, their enthusiasm. Sometimes your teammates can lift you up when you're dragging a little bit. And, I thought Vic and Bryant, I thought they showed a little bit of fatigue tonight. And part of it is when you don't make shots early, and, it's not good. It's easy to feel more tired when things aren't going well. So we'll regroup. It's just like we've had games, we say it all the time, it's an 18-round fight. You know, we've played 13 rounds. We got 5 left. We've won some rounds. We've lost some. And now we got another one on Saturday. It's going to be an important game for us.
Coach, 3 pretty quick fouls on Brian in the first half.
Yeah.
Did that kind of knock you guys off your rhythm? For sure.
Yeah, no, we're a different team when he's not on the floor. There's no question about it. He's the guy who makes us go, and for the most part, he hasn't been a foul-prone guy. You know, he really rarely is in foul trouble. So, you know, he got one quickly on a drive with Cowan, and then I thought his second one was a silly foul. You know, he had missed a shot and tried to chase it down and collided with one of their guys, and then he got a tough one, you know, on the third one where there was some hand jostling, and they did a good job of kind of selling a call, and he got an offensive foul on. So it was hard in the first half. He could never really get into a rhythm, and we had to play with lineups we don't play with very often. So it was tough for him and for us. So, you know, I mean, it was a factor, and hopefully we can not have him have 3 fouls in the first half on Saturday.
Coach, you said you felt like you were a step slow tonight. How much of that was attributed, do you think, to, you know, maybe a hangover from the Wisconsin?
I don't know if it was a hangover. I really don't think it was a hangover. I mean, we moved on. And I don't mean it by that. I just think, you know, sometimes as a coach you can feel your team's energy, you know, out on the floor. And, you know, I thought our heads were in the right place. We were definitely ready to play the game. We prepared well for the game. I just felt like tonight we just were a little bit slow. You know, we were just on a rotation. There were a couple times I thought we had chances maybe to get a deflection or grab a loose ball, or, you know, sometimes you see it in your shooting, you know, when you get the open shots and they didn't go down. So no excuses from – I mean, everybody's playing this kind of schedule. So, I mean, Maryland had a game over the weekend too, so, and they had to travel here. So it's not about that. I just felt as a coach, just watching our team, I just felt we were a little bit slower to the ball than we normally are. And, you know, for us, we don't have a whole lot of margin for error with the guys we're playing with right now. So we have to be sharp, and we have to be good on both ends. We got to execute. We got to make open shots. We missed 10 free throws. You know, we got to make free throws and layups, and in order to beat really good teams like Maryland is.
So what will Rutgers bring in that maybe is not indicative of their conference record?
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys that follow the Big Ten know. I mean, Rutgers is a tough team. I mean, we have respect. We've played them already, so it's not going to – our guys aren't going to be surprised by their physicality. They're one of the better defensive teams in the conference. They have great size. They have physicality. They're really good on the offensive boards. They make you play a grinded-out type of game. And we had to go up there and win one of those kind of games, you know, where we were losing most of the game. So our guys know what Rutgers brings. They've played, even though their record doesn't show it, they've played a lot of teams really close. They have gone on the road. They've won at Penn State. So there's going to be no there's not going to be no overlooking these guys. Our guys know that these guys are tough. They know they play hard, and they know, you know, we're going to have to play well to win.
Coach, back to Isaiah real quickly. After the Purdue game, the talk was he needed to improve his confidence, just needed to get comfortable out there. Where would you assess him now? Yeah, I mean, I thought he was confident tonight. You know, I think a guy like Isaiah, you know, he's not afraid out there. He's going to attack. You know, that's what he knows how to do is attack, and he can really score the ball. I think what he's learned this year, little by little, is how to be a little bit more efficient with that. When can I be aggressive? When do I need to play in the flow? And he's got much better with that. And tonight was one of those nights we really needed him. You know, we needed him to be aggressive. We needed him to attack because we were having a hard time scoring, and that's something he does really well. So I was proud of him. I thought he gave us a big boost. I thought his energy, thought he made a lot of good plays, and hopefully it'll be something that he can build on going into our next game. All right, thank you, guys.